Welcome back to the channel. So, if you remember a few months back, someone from Ripple, I believe it might have been Brad Garlinghouse, was doing an interview, and they were talking about going after the small and medium-sized businesses. And this is something that I've said for years that they should look into, and that I believe it will be easy for them to scrape up that value, to take in, absorb that value from SMBs and SMEs or SMEs. Now, there's a reason I said that. Look at this article coming out, this information coming out now. This article is titled High Urgency SMBs. High urgency. What does that mean? It continues. Or those whose operations depend heavily on rapid cash conversion. Let me ask you a question. Let's stop there for a moment. This is all important. There's a reason why I lay things out this way. How do you think business is going for everyone? You think it's been smooth? Do you believe that they're without problems? Oh, no. No. Much like all the other businesses, they have a massive amount of problems. They need everything that the new financial system provides. That's one reason. I know this might be a little bit obtuse right now. Don't worry. We're going to narrow it down. I'm going to show you some things. Because they need everything that the new financial system needs, provides. This can be easy. And we're talking a lot of value. And if that value is absorbed, and once again, all the bank coin companies have to do is just do a good job. That's it. Put in the hard work. The deals are going to close themselves because no one has a greater advantage in this field right now than the bank coin companies. No one. Period. Do your research. You're going to see this. I believe it firmly. You're going to see it. So it continues on. Or those whose operations depend heavily on rapid cash conversion are more likely to pay fees for instant payments. Why? Now, remember, instant payments is a very open-ended term, a very amorphous term that they use when they say instant payments. I've shown on the channel, sometimes that can mean 3 to 5 days. They say that's instant. Then other times, 1 day, 2 days, 24 hours, they still will say instant payments. I've shown it. We've seen it. We read the articles. They're mind-blowing, isn't it? How they manipulate wording. Then when it comes to the bank coin companies, instant payments is close to instant as you can get. 3 to 5 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds. And I'm pretty sure with the advent of new technologies, it'll get down to just like a second. And with quantum computing in the future, faster than that. But the peak of what instant payments encompasses is in the bank coin companies. As of now, that is. As of now. Globally, let me also emphasize that. Because other companies will try to copy, but they won't have the global reach. They're cut off. The Eastern companies don't want to deal too much with Eastern governments don't want to deal too much with Western companies, and the Western governments, you know how this goes. All that geopolitical tension stuff works against them, but works in favor of bank coin holders like XRP holders, Chainlink, Solana, XLM, etc. But let's keep going. Let's go here, actually. Do a little research on this. I want to bring this right to you. Make sure you look all of this up if you get a chance, okay? So you can see with your own 2 eyes. Also, if you're enjoying this type of content right now, which I'm about to drop a lot of information on you, that's going to be very useful, very valuable. You can use this information, look it up for yourself, give it to your researchers. If you have paid researchers, maybe they don't know this or they don't have this information, give it to your analysts. I'm giving it to you. Take those strong hands of yours, make those 2 fingers and hit that like button. Either hand, it don't matter. It doesn't matter to me. Now listen to this. Here's a summary of some of the different things that's going on with them. Cash flow, right? So there's been with SMBs, we've heard it before, but now it's good that we're seeing it's continued. Their weaknesses are to our advantage. There's delays in payments. Still to this day, that's mind-blowing, right? There's no delay in payments if they're using our systems. Just knowing that, it becomes easier to close the partnerships, the deals. To bring in the partnerships, close the deals. Delays in payments can cause serious issues like stalled payroll. Did you know that? Some of them are experiencing stalled payroll. Look it up. And slow inventory replenishment. slow inventory replenishment, you're losing value. I don't know about you, but I don't like to lose value. You don't have this with smart contracts. One, you don't have this with instant payments. That's number two. You don't have this with QR code tracking. So you know where everything is, how fast it's actually moving. Right. We have the solution, folks. Don't worry. We're going to get to the value later. We have to build. See, knowledge is power. I'm giving you some knowledge. This is power. You're going to be more powerful than you already were. You were already powerful before. I don't want to hear anything else. No, you were powerful before. You're going to be even more powerful after this video. Watch. Knowledge is power. So SMBs avoid high interest credit lines and quickly reinvest in their operations if they are able to utilize in future time. Of course, a lot of them don't have this. Instant payments. Instant payments are the solution. Then look at this. SMBs are willing to pay. Wait a minute. They're willing to pay. So the Bankcoin company should be incentivized to take more of those meetings, right? They'll make a lot of value off of that, then reallocate that value into spreading the blockchains even more, the Bankcoin blockchains even more, which then would result in more value flowing through the Bankcoins, through XRP and everything else. XRP is the one when it comes to XRPL. We should all know that by now. The stable coin is simply a door opener. That's all it is. That's all. I'm not worried about that. You said, not worried about that. That's an old 90s thing. You don't take something serious and just say, without the liquidity of XRP, the global reach of XRP, a dollar in any shape or form, whether it's in a fiat currency or it's in a stable coin, isn't going to go very far with dollar dumping continuing. Dollar shirking continuing. Influence of the dollar lessening. So what is a dollar? We have to think about the future if we're about making value. So recognizing that is to recognize the truth that XRP and these bank coins are the ones. In my humble opinion, you can believe what you want to believe, but that's my humble opinion. I only speak for me. Now, wait a minute. Bear with me one moment. Now, going a little bit deeper into the research. Here, based on a number of recent articles and studies, some of them we've gone over, right? Right. Small and medium-sized businesses are currently, I love that. I love it. I love every second of it. I do. I feel so good. Currently, that means that value is there for the taking. Currently facing ongoing challenges, which means what? They don't have a solution just yet. Hence why the Bankcoin companies are all staring down SMBs and SMEs, and they're coming out and talking about going after those small, medium-sized businesses. And a lot of time, we're going to get to that value. Don't worry. I'm going to show you something. Because before we concentrated on a particular aspect, this time we're going to go bigger. Once again, if you like this type of content, hit that like button. Boom, boom, boom. 3 motions. And sometimes you combine them so smoothly, it's one motion. Let's keep going. They're facing ongoing challenges with liquidity. Folks, with the value that's going to be flowing into XRP from nations. Digital asset stockpiles, right? We've got multiple of them that's spoken about it. This correct? All right. So that possibility is there, correct? Okay. Flowing into XRP through digital asset stockpiles from nations, through reserves, quote unquote, from companies. We've already seen that happening, right? The beginning of it. From RWA, from interbank payments. There's going to be more than enough liquidity to go around. So what becomes the prime focal point to businesses globally when they think about liquidity in the future? Of course, they do know about it now, but it's going, that money, that value talks when it's actually there. That ocean of value always speaks so powerfully. It does. You and I both know that. So that means that in the halls of liquidity, XRP should have the loudest voice alongside Its fellow bank coins, of course, liquidity tokens. Correct? You tell me. You can tell me I'm wrong. It's up to you. I'm only sharing what I've learned. This is factual. Look this up. They're facing ongoing challenges with liquidity and cash flow. We solved that problem, don't we? Right. Here's a summary of key issues. Let's scroll down. Let's find out what else is going on. Many SMBs operate with minimal cash reserves, with some studies showing the median small business holds less than a month's worth of operating expenses. What? Oh, this is going to be easy. Especially if the bank coin companies are wise. I hope that they are. I believe that they are. They continue to upgrade themselves into the technologies that make way for full automation, because what these businesses need, and anyone who's in business needs, period. I'm telling you now, if not, you're going to get left behind. You need full automation, which is coming. But now the learning begins now. The learning begins now. How to properly utilize AI and semi-automated services in combination with AI and semi-automated services and smart contracts. You have yourselves an early iteration or archetype of full automation. You just can't be so parsimonious. You have to be willing to maybe spend a little bit. Maybe it depends. It depends. It's up to you what offerings that the individuals choose. This is not advice. I'm just saying that's the future, and it will make business much easier so that you have capital to reallocate and play with. Hence, once again, why a lot of that value is going to flow and be flowing through the bank coins, in my humble opinion. So this makes them vulnerable to unexpected cost and payment delays. Then late payments, delayed payments from customers. That's not going to happen with smart contracts and AI. You see it sometimes now with a lot of these businesses where in order to do business with them, you have to put your account into a particular system, which, hopefully that system is secure, but this is what they're requiring. So that money each month is going to be taken out. Right? So there's another solution. Questionable? Sure, some people consider it questionable, but that's there as a possibility. I'm sure there's possibilities that I'm not even thinking of. But once again, bank coins and full automation, semi-automation solves that problem. Delayed payments from customers are persistent and a significant problem. Businesses often have to cover expenses while waiting for invoices to be paid. That doesn't exist once the bank coin system, the new financial system takes over. That doesn't happen. This is which can create a serious cash crunch if sales are strong. This is coming from Commerce Bank, so you take it serious, okay? This is also coming from QuickBooks, all right? So now, stalled payments, that goes right into what we were just talking about, that also will be remedied. Once again, if we're having a discussion and I'm one of the bank coin companies, I'm closing that deal, period. I know all the elements that you have and that we solve this easily at a very low price, and no one's going to be able to price things better than us because we have the advantage. Now, and we're just getting started, really. It doesn't matter how long they've been around. We're just now being unleashed. We have the advantage. So need for instant payments. All right. So it says they are willing to pay fees for the speed and certainty. They're paying for speed and certainty that instant payments provide, viewing the cost as an investment in their operational stability rather than just an expense. This demonstrates the underlying issues, cash flow and payment delays are ongoing, and that comes from payments.com. All right. So we got a variety of different sources here. Bear with me one moment. I was looking up something else here. So of course, I asked about the value, right? Also, in yesterday's video, there probably was a part I didn't chop out. I forgot all about that. Like a call came through. I'm recording. There was a disturbance, and you probably just see me do something like this, and then I just sit there, and then I continue. That's because I was supposed to chop that out. Oh, mistakes happen, folks. This is real life. I'm just a regular person like yourself. All right. So I just wanted to make that clear. Things happen. I've been on this channel for like 4.5 years now. Things are going to happen from time to time. I'm not embarrassed by it. It's just real stuff. All right. All right. So now let's talk that value. So before we concentrated on the US, but let's talk about the global value that's flowing through SMBs and SMEs, because it's significant. Here's a little information for you. Small and, should I do this as a chapter? This is like, we're in 15 minutes now. Hopefully people will make it this far and know that I had something potent to bring to the table, very potent in this video, and just make it here, I suppose. Anyway, let's continue on here. Small and medium-sized enterprises are estimated to account for roughly 50% of the world's gross domestic product. This means that of the world's total economic output, about half is generated by these businesses. Given the global GDP is in the neighborhood of $100 trillion, that puts the economic value created by SMBs in the range of 50 trillion to 70 trillion US dollars. I had them put it in US dollars annually. 50 to 70 trillion, folks. With companies, I believe that are going to be easy to take. Now, I'm not saying that XRP takes all of them or takes all of this. I'm not saying that. But I'm giving you these numbers because the Bankcoin companies can potentially move a huge amount of this value. And that does move the price. And this is in addition to all the other trillions it can tap into. That is significant. Let's keep going. Wait, there's more. Just to bring things, make the picture a little bit more clear. Obviously, SMBs and SMEs are a subset of B2B market. It continues on here. The broader global B2B commercial payments market is estimated to be over 145 trillion US dollars. SMBs make up a significant portion of this total as they are constantly buying and selling goods, which means constant flow. That's another good thing. Constant flow of value. And constant high values on chain once this all does happen. It says, and services from each other and from larger corporations. Now, next bullet point is sheer volume of transactions, with over 400 million small and medium-sized businesses operating globally. And what's going to happen is, as you know, the larger of these, sure, Bankcoin companies take some meetings and stuff like that, but I'm sure they're going to have a website or a hub or something like that where everything is pretty much fully automated. It's run by AI agents and customer service, et cetera. And then companies can just sign up. If they meet a certain criteria, they can just sign up and just utilize the chains, the blockchains. It should be much easier in the future. Not everybody has to have a specialized meeting, et cetera. So that's how I picture a lot of things happening in the future. But let's continue on here. The flow of money is massive. Look how they put that. Each of these businesses engages in a constant stream of transactions, from payroll and supplier payments to customer purchases and investments, all of which contribute to the global total. So now, if you take a good chunk of that 50 to 70 trillion, let's say in 2 to 3 years, 3 to 5, who knows? You put your timeline on it. Put your timeline on it, and you tell me whatever you believe that they could take. If you do believe that they have an advantage. If not, I don't know what you're seeing. I would just respectfully disagree. But I believe they have a very good advantage here. And you plug your numbers in and you tell me where that price goes. It certainly doesn't stay at $2, $3, $5, $6. It doesn't. There's no way. And I don't think that any of this is unreasonable. You know, $10 XRP is not unreasonable. It's very possible. $15 XRP, very possible. Could it go higher? Yes. But right now, I want to deal with those steps first. We'll get there. In my humble opinion, that's how I feel. Right. But I think those are very, very reasonable numbers, in my humble opinion. Not advice, not financial advice. All right. And that last portion of information was coming from fxcintel.com. All right. So now you have some, if you want to go look this stuff up, you can. So now let's get a little bit of Bitcoin news in here, of course. So this article here is titled Bitcoin Q2 Dip Similarities Uncanny as Coinbase Premium Flips Green. I am not worried about Bitcoin. I'm very enthusiastic about Bitcoin. You should know that by now. Bitcoin is repeating earlier BTC price behavior, analysts suggest, as a Coinbase Premium comeback joins positive ETF flows for a crypto market rebound. Right. Right. All those once a little dip, those companies started gobbling up Bitcoin. That's what I was trying to show the other day. They went on a buying frenzy. Of course, I knew it. If Bitcoin is poised to go much higher than any dip right now, for companies, is going to cause a feeding frenzy, should be viewed as an opportunity for companies. All right. So it continues on here. It says data from Cointelegraph, Markets Pro, and TradingView showed BTC price volatility cooling after a fresh round of losses. These had resulted in a wave of crypto long liquidations worth over $700 million for the 24 hours to the time of writing per data from CoinGlass. I don't know why I read it like that. Just the way that it came out. It continues. Let me laugh. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me laugh. Man, BTC/USD bottomed at $108,717 on Bitstamp, below old all-time high seen at the start of the year. Amid fears of a $100,000 support retest or worse, some market participants saw reason for optimism. I'm always, if the catalysts remain, why would I not be optimistic? I just don't understand that. But what I do understand, everyone's playing a different game. So my reality is not the same as another's. I do get that. I get that. All right. I'm semi long term with Bitcoin. I'm not long term. Some will get sold. I'm not one of those people that's like, well, holding Bitcoin forever. No, I may keep a little piece. I do believe Bitcoin could go much, much, much higher and keep a little piece, but some of that Bitcoin is going to get sold, period. So once again, my reality is different than others. All right. Quote, BTC is now getting closer to the bottom, unquote. Popular trader BitBull wrote in part of his latest X analysis. Quote, here's a quote. There is still a chance of $106,000 to $108,000 level retest, but for now, I'm expecting a bounce back. All right. BitBull referenced encouraging signals from the U.S., where the Coinbase Premium Index re-entered positive territory on Tuesday. The index measures the difference in BTC prices between the Coinbase BTC USD and Binance BTC USDT pairs. And when green, it implies strengthening U.S. market demand. Quote, Coinbase Bitcoin Premium turned positive during bottom and long liquidations were huge. This shows that max pain is here and a short rally is expected, unquote, BitBull included. There's so many positive things happening for Bitcoin. Just watch over the next few months and let's see what happens, right? Watch the catalyst. Watch these countries. And I feel strongly they'll try to bury this information because we had that information come out about the Philippines trying to pass a bill to start a Bitcoin treasury. And I saw so few articles about that. It's mind blowing. But there were articles everywhere, screaming that the sky was burning for Bitcoin. You see, that's called burying something. Why not highlight the positive? The positive probably doesn't get all the clicks and views. In a way, I understand it, but I don't respect that. I don't. I'm just being honest. No, they should have been highlighted like, hey, listen, this is another positive catalyst because it can lead to other countries trying something like that. The more countries that say, hey, we're trying a Bitcoin reserve, a Bitcoin treasury, whatever verbiage or nomenclature they want to attach to it, that's positive news. Not only could it make other countries want to do the same, similar, but it also could encourage people to want to obtain some. Who knows how much? Some people have a lot of value to reallocate out here, to play with out here. So it could encourage companies over there to want to get involved a little bit more. I'm not sure how much companies are involved over there. You see, this is information that should be coming out, but for some reason, it's not. In my humble opinion, that's called suppression. That's called burying something. Why not? Is it that they don't want Bitcoin too bullish just yet? In my humble opinion, that's how I feel. There's two pieces to that. One, I don't think they want Bitcoin. It's just like the bank coins. It's true. They want to control when Bitcoin goes up. And when I say they, so it's not vague, I mean governments and companies. And companies are the governments because they control the governments mostly. They do all the lobbying. They do all the buying of books of the government officials to make them millionaires. They do all the buying of those dinners. So the companies are the government. The companies control the governments, which you're going to see similar as the bank coins rise. They're going to have a lot of control and influence over governmental things as well. So they, when I say they, I mean them, don't want you too bullish just yet because they want to control with it when it goes up and when it goes down. So they can be the biggest beneficiaries of the movement. So is it that? That may be part of it. Then the other part of it is some people just don't want to believe. I've experienced this. Your experience in life may be different, but a lot of people are just simply pessimistic and they don't want to believe too much. They want to win, but their pessimism tells them that there's a limitation on that winning. There's a very rare person that believes I want to win, but also there's no limitation to the possibilities. That's rare because you have to be brave and bold and courageous to do that. Not everybody's brave, bold, and courageous. No one should think that. If that was the case, there'd be more historical figures that did something great, but there's not. There's just a little bit that stand out from the crowd. So that mentality must be rare. So although you and I may feel that way, most people do not. So when we apply that to something like this, yes, I could see how Bitcoin, based on catalysts, could go much higher and is going to make it through any of these struggles. And I can just shrug my shoulders and say, I'm not worried about a dip or correction. While others may say, no, the sky is burning. So that may be a part of it as well. I expect Bitcoin to do well into the future. Not forever, but I believe it has some more to go. I do. Gold as well. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.